Hello and welcome to 10-Minute Mastery. This session will be about journalizing transactions. This is part 2, where we will journalize more transactions. By the end of this 10-minute mastery, you will be able to journalize business transactions. But first, let's review what we learned in part 1 of journalizing transactions. The process of recording business transactions using a journal is called journalizing. Journals are a form used for recording transactions. This is where we will record our debits and our credits. Keep in mind that we record transactions in chronological order. The journal is meant to be manageable. It is a permanent record of business transactions. And since most businesses record their business transactions daily, it helps to ensure that accounting records are kept up to date. Keep in mind, every transaction always impacts at least 2 different accounts. And always record your debit first. Now let's work some more business transactions. Example 1, transaction. October 6th, we received cash from sales in the amount of $1,200. This transaction impacts cash and sales. In our journal, we enter the date, October 6th. We record the debit first, and the debit for this transaction is to cash in the amount of $1,200. On the very next row, we have sales, credit $1,200. Example 2, transaction. On October 7th, we sold services on account to Edit Services in the amount of $600. The accounts impacted are 1, accounts receivable, Edit Services, and 2, sales. You can see here in this journal entry, we have a debit and a credit, and this transaction impacts 2 accounts, accounts receivable and sales. When we journalize, we enter the date, the description of our debit, and the amount of our debit, $600. On the very next row, we are going to enter our credit, which is to the sales account, in the amount of $600. Example 3, on October the 8th, we received cash on account from Edit Services. This amount was $400. This business transaction impacts 2 accounts, accounts receivable, Edit Services, and cash. This is what it looks like when we have our journal entry of October the 8th. First, we enter the description of the debit amount, which is cash, and then over the debit column, we have $400. On the very next line, we have our credit. This is to accounts receivable, Edit Services. Then we go over to the credit column and we enter $400. This transaction impacts 2 accounts. There's a debit and a credit, same amount, $400. Example 4, transaction. On October 9th, we paid cash to owner for personal use in the amount of $550. Accounts impacted are cash and drawing. And this is what the journal entry looks like. We enter the date, October 9, and we need to do our debit first. So we have the description of Tanya P. drawing. We go over to the debit column and we enter $550. On the very next row, we have our credit, and we are going to credit the cash account in the amount of $550. Our final business transaction for this mastery video, example 5, business transaction. On October 10th, We received cash from fees earned in the amount of $1,650. This business transaction impacts the cash account and fees earned account. This is what our journal entry looks like. The date is October 10. Cash under the description. The debit is $1,650. On the next row, we have fees earned, and under the credit column, we will also enter $1,650. To sum it up and put it all together, those transactions are added here to this journal page 1, in addition to the transactions we worked in the part 1 of Journalizing Transactions video. With all those transactions combined, you can see that these are in a layout where we have the date, the debits first, followed by the credits. Each entry is in chronological order. We do not skip rows, and our total debits equal the total credits in the amount of $10,280. Thank you for viewing. Please feel free to leave any comments below, and don't forget to subscribe to my channel. And if you can, give me a real quick thumbs up.